Hi everyone, I have a Deborah Muller printout from her new Miss Positivity book I'm working on, work in progress, but I'm going to show you how I do a rose with alcohol markers using 4 different shades and an alcohol marker blender. And the paper I'm using is my Nina paper. It is the best paper that I've found for Etsy or Patreon printables if you have an inkjet printer or just like an HP printer. And I will link that below. It's a paper I use for all my printables you see in almost all of my what I've colored videos. Occasionally I use my Artex shiny card for my Copics, but this paper is really the best for pencils and all markers. Not as great for water-based mediums if you're using a water brush, but I love markers, alcohol markers, and so this is really the best. And I'm using Ohuhu markers today from a few of my different sets. This is my smaller set from the Honolulu series, so it's the ones that are the oval shape, not the round ones, which I believe are from the Ohuhu series. So the colors I'm using are V558 Rust Purple, V366 Potato Purple, V380 Amethyst, V192 Begonia, and then I have an alcohol marker blender from my Ohuhu set, which you can use any alcohol marker blender. There's a 3-pack I like that I believe is a different brand. I'll link it below when I'm done with this video, and I use them for everything. So we're going to do this rose here. I'm going to show you how I got it to look like this. And there's a lot of noise out there because I have tree cutters. Apparently cutting trees after our big ice and tree storm the other day. And it's the public works, and they just came around and they're literally outside my window because we have a bunch of trees on the other side of our fence. So sorry about that. So anyway, so first thing I did when picking colors, I have all my Ohuhu markers in a notebook. Basically my swatch book for my alcohol markers. I have all my Ohuhu sets, my Master's Touch markers, and my Winsor Newtons in here. And so basically when I get a new alcohol marker set, what I do, and this is just a basic composition school notebook, I'll write down what the set is. I'll take each color by color category and just do a mark and list the number like this. So this is all from the big Honolulu set, the 180 or 200 set, the big one. I've had this set for a couple years, and when they run dry, I cross them out. That means I no longer have that color. And then I have my smaller set, which is the one I'm pulling this from of the Honolulu series. I have this, and then I have my Ohuhu brush Honolulu 120 set from HSN. I have this swatch, and then I have my Ohuhu brush mid-tone set from Amazon. And these numbers are all different, you can see. And I have my Ohuhu pastel brush set. Haven't done my Ohuhu skin tone swatch yet. My Winsor Newton markers. All of these, so you can kind of see colors. They're pretty accurate, regardless if I use these in books or paper from what's in this book. I just find it easier to do it all in a big notebook than have like those swatch type charts that you get like with a pencil set. Those are hard to keep track of. My Master's Touch markers, which are from Hobby Lobby, on and on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I chose a color palette for my picture. I don't always do that, but I did this time, and I figured that what I want for my rose. What you need to do is find, so I went to my swatch for this other set, and I tried to find is there another one moment still? Yeah, purple. I tried to find 3 purples that were similar shade but a little darker to lightest. So for example, let me zoom in here. For example, you see here we have V558 Rust Purple, V666 Potato Purple. These are very similar. One's a little darker, then you get a little bit lighter, maybe get down here. This one has a little more too much blue in it, but this one is a good lighter one. But for example, let's compare 268 Violet to Rust Purple. You wouldn't really want to go something like this Signal Violet and this Rust Purple because there's such a difference in the tone. This has a lot more red or brown. This has a lot more purple or blue, because you want them to blend nicely from darkest to lightest and be similar in color, but each one a little lighter. So, I mean, sure, you could blend your potato purple with like your RV57 up here. You're going to get a completely different color. You'd have to test it out. So for these kind of things, what I first do is I'll pick 3 shades of a similar color, ending with something light. And this is more of a little bit of a pinkish lavender. And that's something I'm going to go over in tandem or switching around with the alcohol blender, which actually a light color as your final color can work as a good blender. So let me demonstrate. Here we go. All right. All right. This is a tedious process, and I'm just going to do kind of a quicker job here. Am I in the camera? I have no idea. Yes, I am. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my darkest, the Rust Purple, and I'm just going to take one section here of the rose, and I'm going to outline it on the inside of this petal. I'm going to move somewhat fast because you want to try to do the blending while they're still wet. I'm going to go to the medium shade with V366, and you're lining them up on your art table darkest to lightest, and you're going to go over what you just did and then also bring it into the white space a little. So you're blending and you're bringing it out. You're pulling it out. Leave more white space for your next color. I'm going to take this next lightest purple, which is the Amethyst V380. There's different things you can do here, but I'm going to fill this in. I went a little over. That's okay because they're all going to be the same color. Just one layer because we want it to be a little lighter. You can also go over. So then I'm going to take this pinkish light one, the V192 Begonia, and I'm going to go over just that last lightest color. And it's, look at this, it's going to work almost like an alcohol blender and give a haze of pink. Now, if you don't have an alcohol blender, you could just leave it like that. I did do that here in some of these. I'm going to do the next one. You can also go over additionally with this, but let's do the next one and we'll compare. I'm going to do 2 this time. I'm going to do this one, and the skinnier ones you have to do less space. Do this, and let's do one on the inside of that. So we're going to do 2. And again, I'm doing it just faster than normal, so this video doesn't take an hour. I'm going to go to my medium. Again, cover it. I'm using the wider nib for blending purpose. I'm going to blend over the dark and into the white area. Take my third lightest color and fill it all the way in. And you want to keep that lightest color light, so don't go over it twice. So you can go over a little where that blend first started. Now I'm going to take this one, which is the alcohol blender, the brush one, and I'm going to go over that light area. Instead of the pink, we're doing the alcohol blender. I try to just do the light area. You can go over the whole thing. So let's go over the whole thing on this one, all the way to the end, and it'll be a little different. You won't see quite as much transition if you want to blend the whole thing. I'm blending both leaves here, or both petals here. All right. So you can see the difference a little. Gotta let it dry. So here we did the pink one, here we did the 2 blenders. I like to do a little of both so you have like some different sort of, I guess you could say, shades. You can also take your pink and go back over after you've done the alcohol blender. let's just do that. Quick final layer. Let that kind of be top layer. All right, let's do this some more. We're doing some bigger petal leaves here, so I'm going to use the chisel nib for these wider ones. Just basically I'm outlining the inside of the petal. I'm going to do 2. All right, I'm going to take the next color. Again, they're lined up on my table, darkest to lightest, so I always put them back right where I had them. So I remember how to grab them in order. Okay, I'm going to take the third lightest color. And I could have gone with a more lavender, but if it's too much lighter, it's not going to I guess transition is the word. So this time I'm going to do the pink one again. We'll do the pink one here. And yes, it's bleeding over, but that's okay because all the petals are the same color. And let's do the pink one on one side. And then the alcohol blender on this part of the petal. Now you also don't have to do either the blender or the light color. There's one other thing you could do, which doesn't involve either, which will use the pink as a 4th actual color, not as a blender, and I'll show you on this one. All right. All right. Just let that settle and dry, and then it'll look more natural. We're going to do this final one. I'm outlining. Now we're at the edge of where the turquoise starts, so I'm careful now not to go over. On these, if you were doing with the more narrow ones, I would use the more fine point like I will here. And also this darkest one, kind of separating the petals, gives it some definition. All right, so I'm going to blend. Now, if you have an actual alcohol marker paper, like Copic marker paper, or my Express blending card, which is kind of shiny, the ink doesn't dry quite as fast as this one, so you have a little more time to blend. I find this one is just right. Amazon paper in coloring books or some like pencil type papers will immediately dry. This one is kind of in between. So, and the Express blending card is expensive, but I do use that sometimes. But if you have good quality alcohol markers, like Copic's, Winsor Newton, Ohuhu's, this works fab. I'm going to only use the alcohol blender on this exterior one. And I'm only going to try to do the inside part. I want to leave some of this darker edge like it is. I don't want to blend this all the way to the edge this time because it is defining the end of the rose there, if that makes sense. Fix that there. So it's kind of thicker here. I mean, you can go over it, but I like a little definition there. I'm going to take the pink one. Actually, no, I didn't do this one. I'm just leaving that. I'm not doing any blender because I like some pieces to be a little darker than others. Like I have it dark kind of in the center. In fact, I'm going to take a Copic, make that even darker. And then I like to put a little purple stickle glitter in the center of my rose, which I will show you. Let's finish this off. So I'm doing a dark center, and then I'll outline it. I'm going to just show you one thing we can do on the other side. And I'm just going to move faster so you can see. Remember, if you go too slow, your marker, if it dries too much before you get started, then you're going to have more obvious definition between where the colors mixed, which isn't necessarily something you want. I'm going to take my little Copic, make it darker right there. I have an ant on the table. I need to really change out my background, like coloring big giant cardstock, because it's got ink all over it. I have like 5 other colors I guess I could transfer to. Let's do one more. And I'm going to show you something on this side. So I'm going to do this one. This one. Whoops. See, I actually didn't put that in the right order. I grabbed the wrong one. That's the last one. Got to pay attention. Because then if you accidentally don't do the right order, it's not going to look right. From darkest to lightest. All right. I'm going to do the pink here. So that light one makes a nice blend. Again, we'll leave that blockier there on the outside. Okay. So this one is a little lighter than this one, you can see. Although it still might be a little wet, and I did a thicker line there. I mean, you can take this, you can pull it over that if you want to soften that dimension, that border, but it's already too dried, so it's kind of late for that. But okay, so I'm going to show you one thing you could do on this one. We'll see how that works. And then I'm going to show you what I do with my Stickles. All right, so I'm going to take this darkest one again. I'm going to do a nice big petal. Can you see that? Yeah, the biggest one right here. I'm going to oh, this one's tricky because I don't want to go into the yellow. To go slower when you're at the edge. All right, don't worry if it's not straight or anything because it's going to blend in. We're going to the medium shade. There are other ways to do this. This is just the basic, easiest way. Taking that third color, but this time I'm not going to bring the full third color all the way to the end like I did before. We're going to leave some white space. And I'm taking the third color going over everything. So I'm going to take that actual pink we were blending with. That's more like a pinky lavender, the light one. And I'm going to actually put that straight into the white space. Now this is more of a pink, you can see. So now if you did your whole rose like this, all your insides would be a little pink. We can keep doing a few more petals like that. You can take the alcohol blender to soften this. I mean, there's more of a shade change though between this pink from the lavenders, so it's going to be more obvious. So you do want to soften it a little. So you see, you get a little bit of a different look. Now you didn't have to even do that blender. You could have left it straight pink instead of pink that goes over the purple. So it just looks a little different. Let me do one more. Then I'll show you what I do with my center of my roses with my Stickles. There's a few different things you can do also. Usually I don't do my Stickles until my whole pictures are done, my final details, but I'm just going to show you in this video since this is kind of a tutorial. And once I show you what I colored in February video, I'll show you the final picture, and then I'll explain how I chose a color palette on this one. I am going to do another Deborah Muller tutorial here in a few days. So there I'm just going to leave it straight pink. I'm not going to blend. See that? So you see that pink. There you go. Just leave it like that. So you can see. I mean, I can show you. I guess y'all want to see. I can show you how they kind of look together. Let's just do one more. If you are doing this on Amazon paper, like a Deborah Muller coloring book, the same technique works, but you have to move faster because it dries faster, like faster than I'm going. You have to just go, 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 go real quick. And because once it dries, it won't look the same to blend any further. And it might look a little different. That kind of fluffy, cloudy look you get when you blend might look a little different. So I do books and printables, but yeah, so you can see if I'm going to do pink all through there. So I'm going to finish this. I'm going to pause the video to finish this, and then I'm going to show you my Stickles real quick. All right, so what I have here are 3 different colors of Stickles that I tested on a little page, the colors, and I lined them up in order so I can see what I'm going to use that's best. There's a few different things we could do here. So I'm gonna, you don't have to do anything. You could leave it like this, which would look nice, but this is just for fun. So I'm gonna take this darkest one, and this one is the purple, basic Puron purple Stickles. Is that too far out? Yes, it is. I'm gonna go in more. Hold on. I'm going to take this darkest one. I'm gonna blop it right in that center darker core. I'm just gonna dab it around with the end, give it like a little sparkly core right there. Just a little look I like. I like to do this with my gemstones too, and just dab it around just in that little middle part right there. Another thing you could do, you could trace each petal in this dark color. And I've done that for a definition. You could trace it like this around each end of the petal, which I'm not going to do on this one, but that is something you do. You can do it on her lips. Notice I used the same shade on her lips as my roses because you want to bring colors, use colors throughout the same picture to accent one another or complement one another. One thing I'm going to do, you can do this to the rose too. What I'm going to show you is something I do on her lips because I don't have my sparkle pen. I'm going to take my Twinkle Stickles and I'm going to make her lips shine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dab some just in the middle of her lip. And I'm going to use my finger, because that's just how I do it, and dab it over her lip. Try to stay on the purple. You can use something else. I try not to use a Q-tip or anything else because it really just absorbs into the cotton. See the difference there? That's how I did her lip. I'm going to do the top one. I love glittery makeup. Just doing a little line. You can also do this on your rose. I've done this on, I do this on a lot of my details. You'll see. I'm gonna dab it. You can do this with the purple. I do the clear so you can still see the color underneath it. If you do purple, you're not gonna see the blend of alcohol marker as we did on it. Try not to get it on her teeth. I haven't done her teeth with the white Posca pen yet, but I'll do that next or later. Oh, tree cutters are getting closer. It's getting louder in here. Okay, there we go. It's really all you have to do to get some of that on her lips. You can, let's go out now. You can do that on the roses as well. You can twinkle up a whole rose if you'd like. I'm not going to on this one, but well, let's see, let's try something. Why not? So I have a pink Stickles. This is Glam Pink. See how we did that pink there? I really could use like a lighter pink. I'm actually gonna put a little stickle, just test it out right here in the center on this pink spot. Cause I'm going to dab that with my finger right there. Now I don't always dab stuff. That's just if I'm trying to spread it around. Just to give that a little bit more of a pink there. You know, if you do see, like, it's one of those things where depends on what it is. If you do one, you'll have to do them all or it won't look right. That was just kind of a test, but you could do each pink area with a little bit of that sparkle there if you wanted. I forgot to do my dark dab here. So what I'm going to end up doing is once I do these gemstones, they will be done with alcohol marker, and then you find coordinating stickle colors to go over it. You don't do stickles straight on the gemstones. I'm talking about these gemstones here. You don't do stickles straight on the gemstones because you'll see the white through. So you want to do, you know, I mean, let's try one out. Let's just do it. I just randomly had this purple pen on my desk. Like, it's probably not even the right color, but let's just go for it. So I'm going to, this is a Copic Chow. I'm going to do a gemstone and a marker. This is just my quick, easy way of doing it. Usually I'd let that dry because I do Stickles later on, but we're not going to in this case. So I'm going to use, I had 3 different Stickle choices. I'm going to not use the dark one. I'm going to use that medium one. This one is called Lavender. I'm going to squeeze that right on here. And in this case, I use the end of the Stickle to just move it around. And I like it to be more raised, so I use a little more. There we go. Just these tips work really great to kind of put it right to the end of your shape. There we go. That's all I really do for my gemstones. I mean, there's other things I do, but that's the basic way. And we can also do, hold on a sec. Here, we're gonna do something else. I happen to have a pink Kopichao here from something I was doing yesterday. Let's do a pink one next to it. Why not? Let's do a pink one. Who said all gemstones on the crown hat have to be the same color? For symmetry, we might as well do one on each side. All right. Now I'm going to use these pink Stickles. It's a little brighter pink, which is fine because it's going to go over it, but you want that solid pink color underneath. Again, dab it around to the edges of your outline. Just push it a little. Do it here. Big old blob. They haven't made many lighter pink Stickles. I do have some lighter pink liquid pearls, which would also work. I guess I might show you that on my final one or a different picture. I have a ton of liquid pearls. I can do a demo on how to use liquid pearls. So now we have 2 glittery pink gemstones. How about, let's try this. Totally winging this, you guys. I hope this turns out. Yikes. I have here, shoot, that's not gonna be symmetrical if I do that. Depends on if we want to do straight around pink, purple, or different colors. That's too light. I'm just grabbing what I have here. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. All right, let's zoom back in. We're gonna do this Kopichao blue tint with my mermaid Stickle color. We're doing a bluish one here. I wanted a kawaii pastels color for this palette, and I wanted the skin tone to match the browns up here because you want to bring in all your colors to match. So I did that blue, but we're going to use this one. This is mermaid tail. It's not blue, it's more purple, but it's almost more clear, and it's in that same periwinkle family. So we're going to put that over it. And if you did it on top of white, it just wouldn't pop out as much, and you might see some of the white through. And this helps it elevate. Ooh, pretty. It's pretty. How's that look? Pretty good, if I don't say so myself. Pretty good. Fun times. Let's go back out. See, look what we got. So what we would do in this situation is we have dark purple, pink light. You'd start again, dark purple, pink light. So you're going to want to repeat the pattern. So in that case, we would do this dark purple next to match the center one. And you can use any alcohol marker. Just try to find a shade that's similar, even if it's a little lighter or a little darker to your Stickles. A little similar color or a little lighter is better. But really, you can just play with it in there. All right. We're going to do the dark one again. Shoot. Did I use... Yeah, we're using this one, the lavender. Yeah, we're using the lavender. Right? Yeah. All right. Now, Stickles are tricky. They can get clogged up in this little pointy applicator, and you have to get sewing needles to stick in this little hole to clear it out. It does happen. It's annoying. Sometimes I've actually had to snip the tip, and then you can't quite get it quite as accurate. All right, this is fun. Now, normally I don't do all these details till the end, like I said, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I just got the random whim to teach you how to do my roses. So next color, if we're going symmetrically, would be the pink. So we're going to end with the pink. And the hair is just a base coat. I need my Prismacolor pencils. I have 3 different Ohuhu pinks on her hair, but they all were kind of too close together in color. So I'm going to use pencils to bring out that definition and make it look fabulous. Fabulous. Okay. Here we go. We're going to blob it. And blob it. Now in this case, the under pink is lighter than this hot pink, so it works well. If it was a really dark pink, you would still, it would just, what you see through here would look different, that's all. There is her jewels on her hat. Ideally, I would do the, around there, I would have done the strip color with a marker first before I did that, which in hindsight, you know, it's harder to go around after the fact. I'm also going to end up doing the same Stickles down here. I still have a lot of work to do on her face, but there you go. You kind of see what I do with roses, with gemstones, with Stickles. You have some ideas. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to show you this when I'm done. I'm going to take this yellow, bring it to the outside. I'm going to do more in her hair, her eyes, obviously the leaves, all in these kind of kawaii pastel colors. Yeah, and you can even go over some of your rose with Prismacolor pencils if you want on the inside with a light pink, which I can show you as well. All right, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video.